The first guest we have, Yurod, are you ready for the intro? Formerly an employer at Uber, scaling across Africa, she's worked in Taxify, Bolt, and now she's transferring from the tech industry, moving into a world of karaoke, into a world of social connections, community e-residency in Estonia. Give it up for the one and only, we love her, you know her, Venus Lynn!
Whoa. This one is going.
Have a seat, Venus. Hey, Venus. Oh, we're still in sync. How cool is the house band, Venus?
Super cool, super cool.
What do you think of the show? What do you think?
Me?
Yeah,
Great.
you're the guest on the show,
I mean,
Venus.
so far, so good, yeah.
So far, so good. We just started. That's a good omen for today.
It only gets better, don't worry.
I mean, have you seen this kind of thing before at an event like this?
No, super incredible.
It's good, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. I think our audience are enjoying it. Just testing this audience. I'm going to rely on you. You're equally as important as this show. All of you watching this at home as well. Venus, what a career you've had. But firstly, I wanted to sort of dive into a little bit about this narrative we had on the show yesterday, where there's this assumption that in order to live in different countries and move around the world, you have to be a nomad, right? You can't do that as a corporate, really. You can't do that in any other retrospect of life. But you've done that.
Yeah.
You had a career traveling around the world, scale-ups. Tell us a little bit about that journey from Uber to Bolt to scaling around. Where did you go? What did you do?
Well, I've been to a few continents. Funny enough, I've not been to the US for work. So I was living out of a suitcase for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Traveling to Australia, to South Africa, to Kenya, to Uganda. Spent a few months in France, launched and relaunched London.
All for Uber at the time?
No, Bolt.
Bolt as well, okay, yeah.
Bolt
Nice
took
one.
my youth.
Yeah, it took your youth. You started young, earlier. But when did you just kind of kick your career off traveling around scaling startups?
19, actually.
19, wow. Did you study then, or did you just go straight into that?
I went to night school in business in Singapore, and then just went straight into pharmaceuticals, and then to tech, and then relocated to London, and then to Estonia, and then leave out of a suitcase.
I think it's interesting to sort of normalize a little bit of travel with corporates, because I think in the tech industry, we like to popularize the idea of working for yourself, which is a great thing. I do it myself. Chris, you do yourself. You try, at least. And we try to sort of, create this sort of passion porn around, you have to work for yourself, you have to travel, you have to do these things. And in fact, you managed to achieve that whilst having all the scaling up journey of these early stage tech companies, right? When did the Tallinn element come into this? Because you're originally from Singapore, is that it?
That's correct, yeah. No, I got headhunted by a really enthusiastic recruiter.
Okay.
Working for Bolt, formerly known as Taxify then. And then he managed to convince me to speak to 2 more people from the company. I think Bolt at that point was like less than 300 employees. They've got over 4,000 at this point. And then I just took a chance, and here I am, still in Estonia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I mean, and how many years ago was this now?
2017. So
2017, okay, so yeah, 7-ish years or so.
Yeah.
So and that's been kind of your permanent base out of here, right?
Yeah, on and off, but more permanent.
Traveling around as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I'm always curious when I speak to foreigners here. We've met a few. Last year we had some on the show as well. What's keeping you here?
First of all, I think Estonia is super efficient. Reminds me a lot of Singapore. If anything, they're more progressive now.
Similarities.
Yeah, super efficient. I mean, I managed to register my business in 10 minutes. I managed to get funding for my companies in less than a month. And then I completed construction of the karaoke rooms in 1.5 months.
Oh, wow.
There's no way I could have done this in London, Dubai, Singapore, New York, And here we are, Baltic's first private karaoke rooms. It all happened because Estonia made it happen. Let's be honest. Yeah.
I like that. It happened because Estonia made it happen. We've got to clap for Estonia. They have a clap for Estonia. Yeah, why not?
In Germany, you would still be waiting for the registration now.
Exactly.
The website would still be loading. Okay, let's wait.
And you need a notary as well, right, to stamp everything in Germany.
Oh,
right?
for sure.
Yeah. So I am from South Africa, and I grew up in the UK, and I live in Oslo, Norway now. And I had a similar experience as you. That I went back to South Africa 2 years ago and lived there for a period of time after I sold my company, and I sort of tried to make business and work happen there, right? And it happened, but it took longer, and there was obviously sort of different barriers to get through. But when I went back to Norway, the one thing I was reminded of is the ease of doing business. And I'm getting a sense of this place is the ease, because you're a foreigner here. Yes, you've worked for some of the more successful brand-named businesses we know here, Bolts and others, right? But the ease of doing business is, can you raise capital here? Can you hire and fire people? I mean, what is the system set up for startup founders who need to start up and slip up? Is it forgiving of failure as well?
Yeah, I think so. I think the biggest thing that is not forgiving of is if you make the same mistakes twice, right?
Really?
Yeah, I mean, well,
Would you agree?
I don't know, right?
You're nodding. Have you made 2 minutes? Should we not put the camera on you? Because people go, oh, we all saw what she did.
Not intentionally, obviously.
Yeah.
But I find that it's very nurturing. I think it's super easy to, get to the point with your fellow Estonians. There's no ego, there's no emotions. I mean, in business, right? I'm sure there's a lot more emotions after a few rounds of vodka shots. But yeah, I find that things move much faster. We get straight to the point. We, cut the noise. And in many ways, it kind of like returns back to us 10 times in terms of value, because there's no unnecessary pleasantries, Yeah.
Unnecessary pleasantries. I think we can agree that is sometimes an annoyance. It is also sometimes a pleasantry.
Yep.
But loyalty, I feel like, comes out the back end of that, right? So
Yes.
same in Norway, is a very loyal country. They're very patriotic. And I've experienced that here.
Yes.
People are like really... Chris and I have been traveling around a little bit, meeting, greeting people. There's not one person who hasn't invited us into their home that we've met and saying, you want to come for dinner? Or what are you guys doing tonight? So they're kind of looking after us and showcasing their nation. And twofold to that, also in the startup world as well, all the founders we meet are so proud and patriotic to come from this place and things like that. So yeah, you were part of building one of these, high growth companies, right? Why did you decide to get out of that? Like, what was sort of the itch you needed to scratch, or what was the real story there?
I think there are personal and professional reasons for that. The first of which is I've been with Bolt for so long, right? Personally, if you give a big chunk of your 20s to a company or a person, I think it's good to sort of like review,
like a relationship, yeah.
Yeah, like reassess. Are we too comfortable here, and so on and so forth. But professionally speaking, I also felt like the company could use with more new blood, right? I'm not one to be complacent, so after this long of a period with the company, I started to kind of worry about whether or not we're just doing things the Venus way, right? What if there is a much
I like
better
that.
way?
Let's do things the Venus way.
Right.
Chris, from
Yeah.
now on,
Is that the title
we're
of
doing
your
it the
book?
Matt way.
The
No.
Venus Way? I think that's a book you should write.
Who would buy that book?
I would.
Yeah, you'd buy that book.
That's 90% of the audience would buy the book.
Great.
It's a bestseller already.
The Venus way.
Yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of like get out of any sort of bubble and complacency.
Yeah.
So I wanted to just see what happens. And then on the other side of the coin, I wanted to see if like a non-tech industry, let's say the nightlife industry or the social entertainment industry here, are they as digital and efficient as the bubble that I've been exposed to, right, in the tech world? And I've learned a lot actually in the last 4 or 5 months. They're not as efficient as they can be. So it's quite exciting to be a student all over again and learn. Yeah.
I mean, and that's the perfect thing to move into what you're doing today, right? So yeah, you did many years in this, building and scaling these tech companies. I've also met many, people who've worked in these businesses who have felt a little bit allergic to that afterwards. Not sort of, that they're responding to it, but they need to do something and not speak the same jargon and buzzwords and bingo, all the time.
Yeah.
Why nightlife? Why karaoke? Why House 10? Your new startup or home?
I mean, there are a few problems I want to solve before I die. And let's hope that the day is not tomorrow, right? So far, traffic looks good. No surprises. But karaoke, for me, is a symbolic move. If I could take something as straightforward as that, bias for action, unlearn the things that no longer serve me, relearn things that I previously weren't exposed to, then I could probably take a lot of learnings in an accelerated manner and just kind of like apply it to the other two problems I want to solve. And so then I started to ask myself, okay, what's the triangle here, right? You guys probably heard of Ikigai, right? What you're good at.
We heard of this one. Give us a wave, Ikigai.
Yeah, what you're good at.
Yeah, cool.
What people
Page
need.
10
How do we
of the
just-
book, The Venus Way.
In the Venus
Yeah.
way, Ikigai. How would you describe
That's the
Ikigai?
introduction.
I think it's a triangle, right? So what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can make money from. I mean, don't quote me, I might be wrong. But those 2 out of 3 are definitely correct,
Yeah.
right? And so I took the most harmless thing, which is karaoke, and the fact that Estonia is a singing nation. People are very enthusiastic about singing, I've learned.
Are you?
Yeah, yeah.
You're meant to go, yes.
And also I wanted
We'll
to...
find out soon.
We will
they
actually
don't know.
find out
They
soon.
don't
You don't know what's
but
about to
we'll,
happen. Yeah.
we'll find out how well they sing.
And also, I didn't want to be like seen anymore in this public karaoke bars where I, lose all my dignity. So I thought, okay, let's introduce some privacy into this world. Private karaoke rooms don't exist in the country, don't exist in the region, as well as in Finland, but it's super common in Asia, and it's where I'm from. So I thought if I could kind of contribute to a little bit of happiness in this. To the people here and to the country, then let's start with something pretty harmless and universal, right?
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
You're saying basically that in a private karaoke room you can't lose your dignity, but Matt, in a couple of minutes, will prove everybody wrong. You can.
But there's an interesting narrative there, because if you think about your role before, working with these businesses, you were localizing these different businesses into
Yes.
local markets, right? Mm-hmm. What you've done here and what you've described, whether you meant to or not, I assume you did, is you effectively localized karaoke here, because you could have taken the on plenum, as in the non-private, embarrassing way to do it, that everyone else does it back home. Mm-hmm. And you were like, listen, Estonians might be a little bit, as Norwegians are, as anyone in the Northern Hemisphere, a little bit more introverted, maybe not the first person to jump up and take the mic. We'll find out in a minute. We keep alluding to something big might better happen. But you've localized it, right? You've sort of Estonia-fied it, or Baltic-ified it, made it a bit more private in the sense that you have these rooms, and that's what you've created. So in the old town, everyone, there's this amazing location. Should we actually just maybe give everyone a view?
We show it to them, because we went there. It was really interesting.
Stens, let's take a look.
Hey.
Oh, hey Venus, how are you doing?
Good. Welcome to House 10. Come on in.
Thanks. Cool. Yeah, Venus, unfortunately, Matt, he's always late, so he'll be here any minute, hopefully. Yeah, should have been here 15 ago.
No worries. Take a seat. We can have a chat about House 10.
Okay. Yeah, I think that idiot is not coming, so maybe we start the tour without him.
Let's do it.
You're going to love this, guys. House tour.
So we typically use this room for live performances.
Okay, very
Sometimes
nice.
private events. Yeah.
I like it.
Have a look around.
Interesting artwork.
Ooh, your bathroom is nicer than my house. Nice, I like it.
Thank
And
you.
that's where you take a shit?
Precisely. Full privacy.
Ooh, oh yeah, that's nice for taking a shit.
Let me show you the karaoke rooms.
Chris, once again.
Ooh,
Private rooms.
5 karaoke rooms, each a different theme.
okay,
Fully
let's
soundproof.
look at them.
Yeah,
Can we
let's do it.
look at them? Mm-hmm. So which drug were you on when you designed this room?
We should ask the designer that, yeah.
So which drug were you on when you designed this room?
None. I just spell opportunity.
So which drug were you on when you designed this room?
No comments.
So which drug were you on when you designed this room?
Which one do you think? Let me show you the last room. Wait, hold on. There's someone in here. Can you hear that?
What? What's going on? Holy shit, Matt! What are you doing in here?
Guys, hey, I'm just practicing. I'm just practicing for the show. We got
What are
the
you
song.
practicing?
We got
The song.
the song. You know the song? The song
How long have you been in here?
I don't know. 25 hours or so. Mate, you should come in and join me. Ready? Let's do the song. Play it one more time. Let's go. guys, seriously, it's a goal. It's gonna be a hit. I'll sing you the song, okay? Are you ready?
Are you guys ready for this? You're going to sing along in a second. Learn the
It's
words.
gonna go viral. Brace yourself. I'm building a startup in Tarlin. Bootstrap, no life. Will it survive?
Tarlin.
All right, everyone, I need you to sing with me in a minute, okay?
Will it survive? Tarlin. Bootstrap. No life. Will it survive?
Tarlin, bootstrap, no life. Will it survive?
Tarlin. Bootstrap.
Your moment's coming, don't worry.
Will it survive?
Tarlin, bootstrapped, no life. Will it survive? Okay, in 10 seconds. Tarlin, bootstrapped, will it survive? No life. We ready for it? We're spoofing that thing. Ready? Tarlin, bootstrapped, no life. Will it survive? Tarlin, bootstrapped, no life. Will it survive? Everybody, wow, Tarlin, bootstrapped, no life. Will it survive? Tarlin, bootstrapped, no life. Will it survive? Woo! You're welcome. You're welcome. What did you think?
Great.
Yeah? Did it work?
We have to say, you were in a pretty dark place when you wrote that song after 25 hours.
I was in a
the
pretty dark
karaoke
place. That's very true. Come on, Estonians. How was the song?
room. Better than the original, for sure.
It was. Do you know the original? What's the original? I'm looking for a guy in finance, 6'5", blue eyes.
Trust fund.
Trust fund,
Trust
yeah.
fund.
That one. I'm just missing that part, right? We thought we'd have a little fun. Anyway, so Venus, yeah, what did you make of it?
I think you did really well. Yeah.
But jokes aside, your venue is fantastic, actually. We went to check it out, right? Obviously, as the video says. Had a tour around the place in the middle of Old Town-ish, right?
Yes.
Beautiful old building, 200 years old probably. Lots of old features. Go and check it out if you're here. If you're not here, go and visit it when you are. Really awesome place. Venus, this is a platform. These are beautiful, brilliant people. I always like to give our wonderful guests an opportunity to use this opportunity to share something, to leave everyone here with a note, with a comment, or just share some goodwill. What would you like to say to everyone?
Well, I like to say that when you do find yourself to be in a position where you're repeating yourself a lot, like for example for me, I just didn't understand why there were no private karaoke rooms, and I've been repeating that to myself for 7 years. It's probably time to bias for action. And if you were to pick a city where you can bias for action, validate your hypothesis, Tallinn is the perfect playground for it. Take it from me. Yep.
And if you want to build a startup here, remember, you're building a startup in Tallinn, you bootstrap it, no life, and it probably will survive. Venus Lim!
Thank you.
Hey, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, watch out, I already kicked mine.